IGUALES.
So, Grigor, welcome to the set of IGUALES. You just said your first podcast.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, you seem like a really interesting person, and you seem like a person who talked for 3-4 hours.
Okay.
How is it you've never done a podcast?
I don't know. I guess time consuming. I guess at times, but you know, I'm very like peculiar with the things that I do and I pick. So I think this is probably one of the reasons. But I'm very happy to try it here for the first time.
I mean, hopefully you'll be comfortable,
Yeah.
Grigor. I want to talk to you about yesterday. I saw you practicing on the outside court.
Mhm.
You were practicing with Corda. How did it feel, the court, everything? You felt comfortable in there?
Yeah, it's always an adjustment to come back here. I think to Madrid is one of those tournaments that I think you need a little bit more time on the court. It's the conditions are a little bit more specific than any other event, and yeah, also a bit of the altitude. I mean, we notice that a lot, and we feel that a lot as as a tennis player. There's so much that is going behind that. From the tension you put on your string to the movement on the court, and ultimately trying to find the right settings to navigate yourself to feel at your best when you get out there to compete. So yeah, when you have a few extra days, you really try to. I think you're a little bit extra focused out here, and I feel that for everybody around.
Yeah, I was watching the Diego Schwartzman game in here yesterday, and I think it was around the middle of the second set. He was asking for his box about the tension of the racket to be increased. Does that happen like in middle of the matches?
It can happen any time, from the beginning of the match from the warm up to the middle of the match to whatever. I think it's there's times and times I think we're really sensitive to tuning up the racket in the right way. Some people are a bit more focused than others on that. Some care more than the others. So it's a very personal thing. I mean, I for one, I'm very, very specific with that. So I always try to kind of follow like certain tensions that have worked for me in the past, but I also don't shy away from changing that.
Okay. I wanted to talk to you about Spain
Mhm.
because you've been here a while now in a lot of years in the tour. How does it feel to come back to Madrid? Is there anything specifically you do in Madrid? Because there's so much to do with El Prado, with El Retiro,
Yeah.
with everything. Are you one of those persons that just stay in the hotel, or do you like to go around and kind of meet the city?
I love to go around, but I feel like the past years it's been very difficult to do that. I think early on in my career, I was way more active on that end. I used to go out a little bit more to the city and discover different places. I love the market out here in Madrid, the gardens, everything is. I mean, I've kind of gone to like some of the major sightseeing places, but I think with years you need to spend a little bit more time on looking after your body, and I think this is something that I've been doing a lot more. So my time has been very limited throughout the days, and every time I also get the chance now to do something else, I use it more in a more of a proactive way, meaning I need like resting a little bit more or looking after the body, reading, watching TV, just to kind of settle down a little bit before the tournament. And of course, if we have some days after or a day after, you go around. Of course, I'm a big foodie, so I like to go out and enjoy some good restaurants. Unfortunately, the diet has been a little bit more strict the past years as well. So, yeah, it's been, now that I speak out loud, it's been a lot of changes.
Oh, I mean, and they have worked out for you because you've been playing really good for the past few months. Do you feel like anything, like all of the things you were talking about, taking care of yourself, diet, everything, when you take that into account, it made sense because the changes at the end of the card, you are playing really well at the moment.
I think it's a combined. Honestly, it's a combination. I think when you combine the hard work with the rest, with the with the nutrition, everything that you've been doing, I mean, the rest will come eventually. You just don't when, you don't know how. You also don't know how, but in the same time, you work, you strive every day. And tennis is one of these sports that you don't know when things might come through. You don't know when you're gonna have an opportunity, so you always have to be ready. And I guess this is also like a time that I have matured maybe a little bit more. I know myself more. I know my body. I know the way I've been practicing. So yeah, when you combine all these pieces together, it creates a great result. And I think it's a combination as well of everyone in the team putting the right work, putting the effort. And yeah, we're just very honestly very very grateful of how everything has been unfolding, and we don't take it for granted.
You don't take it for granted. A team. I want to talk about the team as well. How much difference does it make for you to have the right people around you who say the right things at the right time, even if they're tough? Do you think that makes a big difference when you come to these tournaments between playing at your best or not?
Without a team, you're never going to be the same. It's just how it is. But it's not just to have a team. I think it's very important to be aligned with your team and to have, similar interests, similar way of seeing the court, the days of practice, preparations, everything on that end. I think it's a vital component for our sport itself. Because yes, we're alone when we go to play out there, but behind the scene, without having the coach or the physio or the fitness coach or nutritionist, whatever it is that is helping you to perform at your best, if they're not aligned with you, if you don't see things the same way, it will just never work, honestly. I think throughout the years we've had a lot of moving parts here and there, but I think now the clarity is way better and in front of us.
Carlos Moya mentioned here on the first season of Iguales last year that in his opinion now coaching Rafa and in his experience being the professional tennis player he was back in the days and now coaching Rafa, for him the matches come down to 4 or 5 inflection points in which if you manage to not only win them but performing at your best in those points and mentally preparing well for those, probably the match will work out fine. What do you think about that quote from
Yeah,
Carlos?
I like that. I like that a lot because I, for one, been a player that I never like too much information. I don't just simply I don't need it. I think there's also key moments, even I think throughout any match that, yes, if they worked out, in your advantage is great. But also there's also delicate moments throughout the match that even if you miss some of the first ones, I think you're still gonna get another chance at some point, and this is where you need to seize it. I think sometimes when you have also too many opportunities and you don't use them, I mean, it's you set yourself not for the obviously for the sweetest match, but yeah, I totally understand that, and I think players, for example, the caliber of like Rafa and any of the I think the top 10 guys now, I don't think you need that much of an information. I think just a few pointers here and there, because each one of us knows how to play the game, so that you already know. But if you just get hung up on, I don't know, if you know where the person is going to serve at 30-15, then you increase your percentage to not only read the game but to influence the outcome of the next points.
Okay. Another thing I wanted to
Yeah.
on this topic. Do you feel like sometimes when let's just say a coach or something overshares information that could lead to a point in which you could be on the court not knowing what to do because you
Confused,
have
because
so many
you get
things on you.
confused. Yeah, I think so. I've had not the same, like similar moments to that sometimes, and I always also try to filter that information even for myself, because as a player in a way, what is your like strongest point when you're up in the score, when you're down in the score, and when you need to press a little bit more on your opponent. So when you're aware of these things, I think whatever information comes to you, I think you just need to filter it a little bit more. Because I think in the end of the day, if tennis at times, if not most of the time, has to be instinctive. And I also believe this is where you play your best game and you create some amazing points, and you get into that flow of the game where it's the best place to live. It's probably one of the most difficult thing to do, match in and match out. But I think once you're in there, it's a very special feeling.
And I mean, you get to those kinetic movements for sure. You're you're athletic enough. We have to. I mean, I would love to talk to you for, as you say. I would like.
Me too. I'm enjoying it.
I would gladly invite you to an hour long podcast. But lastly, do you want to say any, maybe in Spanish words, or if you
In Spanish,
or maybe even some English words to the Spanish fans that will be watching?
The Spanish fans, you know, they've always been very amazing to me. You know, it goes back in the days when I even lived in Barcelona for quite a few years in my early years, and you know, I just always feel the love. Of course, anywhere I go, it's always been a very, you know, humbling experience. But then at times when I play to the Spanish tournaments, I feel much more embraced, since I have a bit of a history with the country since I was a junior player, and hopefully I can deliver for them.
I mean, you'll deliver. I mean, you'll definitely deliver. And guys at home, you have to come and watch Grigor, because genuinely it's amazing. Grigor, thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
A pleasure.
Pleasure, man. Thank you.